was today, Sarah?
Transmission day.
Yeah, she's been looking forward to this for a while. But we have our 4L80E on the transmission stand. And then you want to show them what we got?
We got some parts.
Full rebuild kit with Red Eagle Alto clutches. It's supposed to be their high performance kit from Trans Parts Warehouse.
They're made in the USA.
Yeah, well, I was not able to get Jake's or any of them to get us a kit in time because they're all backed up. So I ended up having to just source our own kit, which I found online. And the other part of me is not too upset about that because being it's going to be our first time rebuilding one of these, if I go and screw it all up, I'm not going to have wasted a $1,400 rebuild kit.
Yeah.
So.
And use them down the road.
For the initial power levels we're going to be pushing, I think this will be just fine. So, but it is a performance kit. It's supposed to be rated up to 1,000 horsepower. And then we have our, from Extreme Automatics, our Billet 80 reverse manual valve body with trans brake that we're going to install. That's going to be fun. Try and figure that out. Yeah, that's what we're looking at for today's project. And then hopefully, if it all goes well with rebuilding the trans, we can move on to the finishing the fuel system now that we got the rest of the parts we needed.
Yes.
But the priority today is the transmission, obviously, and make sure that's done and done right, done correctly.
And that's a big check off our to-do list.
Yeah. Oh, and we got the converter, too, from FTI, 3,000 RPM stall.
So shiny compared to the other one you took out.
So it's a billet converter. It's splurged on that because that's one of the last things I want is a converter to balloon and explode on me because I've had issues with that. So things blowing out of the bell housings on my vehicles is not fun. I got the directions out for the valve body because while you don't have to do, you could put these valve bodies in without tearing the whole trans apart.
Oh.
But if they say if you do tear the trans all the way down, there's things such as modifying the direct drum for a pressure relief port, drilling that out.
Okay.
And then the seals on the center support. You can change a few things there, so to help it. It's not needed, but it improves the performance with like shift timing and so on. So.
All right.
We're gonna tear into it. Oh, we have a fully disassembled 4L80. I know it looks like a mess, but essentially goes bottom top. This is the output shaft, the final two wear washers on it. We work this way. So when we go to reassemble this first, then that, then this, then this, then that. Then you come over here, work back up this row, then you come in here, work back up this row till we get to the pump. That's how we did it. We got to pick through our kit and see what exactly we have for replacement parts that we got to replace, which will be the fun part. I'm hoping it's got like these little brass wear pieces, and this is a plastic one here. And it's band, obviously the clutches and steels. So Sarah's busy trying to clean the hell out of the case. And as we work through one part, we're going to just essentially, before it goes back in, we're going to see what we have to replace, clean the part, get it lubed up with fresh trans fluid, drop it back in the case, move to the second portion and so on, and just work our way through everything like that is the game plan. Alrighty?
You talking to me because I'm busy.
Alright. Okay. Here's our disaster of parts. Here's our replacement parts with our performance clutch kit. Not really sure what's going on with the bands here. It has two different bands. This might be a performance one, maybe. This one's wider.
Oh, maybe they gave you two different options?
Yeah, this one's wider. Or this one's narrower, this one's wider, but this one's got the red alto material in it. So I don't know what the story is there. Not sure. But before we go any further, we got to do two modifications. I got to take, when we replace these seals, this center ring here is going to be removed. The valve body says second one from the top, don't put it back in. Right? So that's this guy. We leave that open for some reason. And then the direct drum, the high clutch drum, drill a 040 to 063 bleed hole behind the piston.
So is that this one?
I believe this is the direct clutch drum right
Oh.
there. So I'm gonna have to press that piston down and move it. Yeah, like I said, we're calling it quits for tonight. We're almost there. I think we got to do there's last two parts, the pump and overdrive or fourth gear clutches. And then we'll do the valve body stuff. But that's for another day. We're done tonight. This has been, yeah, it hasn't gone like I thought. And then this is the first time I've ever done a 4L80E. So between the book I have with instructions that I was referencing, we kept having pause to reference that, and then YouTube videos, and then again, we bought a cheaper kit because it was what we could find for the rebuild. Didn't really give us anything for instruction and what goes where, so that made life harder. Not making excuses, it's just this the first time that Sarah and I have done a transmission like this, so it hasn't been easy. Therefore, we've been lacking in the filming department again. We've been trying to keep you guys up with this whole process, but it's not easy to do when we're learning as well. So that's why we're calling it for the night. We'll continue on either tomorrow or the next day, but we'll be back out here. And we got some,
We'll have a meal.
yeah,
Get back at it tomorrow after work.
correct. So, Mr. 4L80E, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, just me diving back into this transmission dilemma. Not real dilemma, just fiasco. And I'm at the point now where everything's back together. We're nice and lubed up. And what we need to do now is I have to make a modification to the pump for our trans brake. So that way it does not, according to the Bill of 80 directions, let's see here. Where are we? When using a lockup transmission, pressure should be kept to 200 psi or less. We do not recommend using a lockup converter over 200 psi main line. Factory 4L80 valve body regulates converter pressure to a maximum of 175 psi. This can cause pump failures and converter damage. While the valve is out, is a good time to do the lockup mod by removing the land pictured right here. Okay. Be careful not to touch the other lands. This can be done with a bench grinder or cut in a lathe. Obviously, we're going to be doing the bench grinder method. When the lockup modification is done with the Bill of 80 valve body, the lockup pressure will be about 75 psi. Lockup mod must be done for lockup to work. If you need more lockup pressure, call us. We offer a hard steel wear plate to prevent pump wear. Well, I'm going to attempt our mod. Now the question is, as you all are going to figure it out with me here right now, I don't know where the heck that little valve is on this deal. Okie dokie, I figured it out. So it was in this port right here going this way. You can do this apparently in the vehicle too. I guess through when you pull the transpan off, you can see this portion of the valve body. And it essentially goes in, the other end of it's right here through this little roll pin. You actually have to push on that a hair to get it to pop out. But when it goes in, it goes like this. Okay, spring, the valve, and then there's a stopper at the other end where the snap ring goes. So I believe, double check my directions, the portion that you want to grind off, you're going to look, there's like a long nipple on one end, short nipple on the other. It's the second one from the short nipple. So this guy right here needs to get ground down. Question is, how the heck am I going to do that? All right, guys and girls, you're about to see my sketchy decision. I chucked it up in my drill press. I'm going to turn the drill press on, and I'm going to work the grinder on that land right there, just like that. All right, here we go. Well, if you noticed, obviously my shaft on my drill press isn't exactly even, but so it was dancing a little bit. There it is. Not completely even, but it's close enough. Should do the trick. All right, here's our valve ground down. So now let's get it back in this deal. Where's our? You'll notice I pulled the pump apart. I wanted to make sure it was clean. Ready to go. There we go. It's right here. So get our spring. Let me set that down. I'm going to spray down everything. That back on. Very nice. Compressing well, doing what it's supposed to do. Now I'm going to take a little bit of trans fluid now. The valve's back in, then this little block, tilt it. Got to push in with a little pressure. Got my snap ring. Here we go. All back together. Now I'm going to put the pump back together. All right, so I got the pump halves back together, lined up. We'll see how the valve body goes because we haven't gotten there yet, but all right, this is to align the two case halves. No idea what the torque numbers are on those. Pump back together with the modified TCC valve. On to the next step. All right, so I need you to pay attention here because I don't want anybody else to make the same mistake I did. See that bolt hole right here? There's a port there. Then you're going to see a dotted lines right there, which goes and ends right in this cavity. But then you see a block here with dotted lines, which is the port going all the way to the middle. I tried to tap the wrong hole, which, see, according to the directions, all right, very important. Here's what they have circled. It's this right here, which all the way down in there, you can see there's a hole. It's very dark. I tried to tap this one, which is what goes through here. Thank God this hole's a little bigger, so when you actually go to put the set screw in, it just falls right in. No big deal, no mistakes, just has a little bit of threads in it now, not whatever. This hole down in there, I can barely see it if I get this darn thing to focus. Down in there, runs through this boss down there, and then into that porthole there. That's the one you need to tap for quarter 20. So I'm going to have to get down in there. Let me see if I can get you a light. There you go. That hole down there with a little bit of trans fluid around it is what I got to tap for quarter 20. That's what I'm going to cap with the set screw. All right, guys, I tapped that hole down in there. All right. There's our set screw. You can see a little bit of thread sealing I put on there. goes nothing. Right until it stops. Oop. There we go. All right, now let's check that. Oh my God. That light just died. Do this one. Now you can see the set screw down in there. Blocked off. That port's blocked. Did something successful. All right, and I'm gonna get my little, where's my little cuppy cup? There it is. My little cup. Pour some trans fluid. Oh, darn it. There we go. All right. Electrical bulkhead connector. There's the screw. So this comes from the inside, and then I'm assuming you put that screw back in, which will catch the lip of the hole, holding everything in place. As you can see, it kind of overhangs a little bit right there. So I'm going to put a little lube on there. Get my Phillips head screwdriver. Okay. Pop. All right, there you go. And that's just got to hold it in place. You know, I really don't think you got to kill it. So there's that. The electrical connector's in. Then we move on to our rear low band servo, which they give you an upgraded spring for. False alarm. Guy comes out. I guess. Okay. I'm going to say we're going to take this C-clip off because they say the inner piston's got to come out. This is fun, folks. I'm enjoying this, learning a lot. But I got the centerpiece of the servo back in. This is how it goes, according to the picture, right? Here we are. Now, to put it back together, and I also have a new gasket for that cap that is going on. I believe that, yep, that bolts down like that. All right. All right. I got it. I just got to see if my little manual over here has the torque spec for that. 18 foot-pounds, Just like everything else that's been on this transmission, seems to be 18 foot-pounds. There we go. That's in. All right, now to get a clean working surface on my table over here, because I believe we're going to be working on the actual valve body portion itself now. All right. Let's open up this bad boy. Gotta admit, it's a pretty sight. Okay, so I'm assuming, yeah, there's our 2 square ports. That's where those nylon balls go that they're talking about. The shuttle ball pockets, here and here. So it's see the port coming around like that. 1, 2. All right. All right, use stock manual valve. So that is right here. Make sure it's clean. And that goes in right here. That's in, shuttle balls are in. I don't see why I need to use grease to hold them in place when you just put this over top. Install valve body. Install bolts torqued to 100 inch-pounds. All right, boys and girls, working through a few things. Don't forget the detent tab for your shifter, right? Almost forgot that. The 97 and up lube pipe needs to get bent to fit this hole right here. And then this bracket, as you can tell, does not line up completely. They said flat out it needs to get modified. Okay? So what I'm probably going to do is grind it out a little bit, or maybe I'll notch up here, but I want that sucker tight on there. So I'm going to modify the bracket. go from there. And then I'll check back in once I get the rest of these bolts in and this bracket bolted down.
So, what do we got here?
Got everything set up. Just got some wiring. I'm going to figure out how I want to secure. I might do a little hold down right here. I think I got a tab. That tab I got to fix to make it work. Where the heck is it? Excuse me. This guy I got to put on there. Try and bend it more. Alright, so I got that tab modified, and then I grabbed one of my little wire hold down deals, kind of hold the wire in place. There. It's not cinching it, but it'll keep it from moving around quite a bit. All right, now I got to torque every single one of these bolts to 100 inch-pounds. I already did the one that's under the torque converter lockup solenoid. Did that early on so I wouldn't forget. Therefore, torque wrench is already set.
You said 100 inch-pounds?
Yes.
Oh. I'm assuming that's a smaller ratio.
That's a much smaller than foot-pounds.
Got it. I've only ever really heard of foot-pounds.
See how quick that just went off?
Mm-hmm. What's that bracket for exactly?
It holds this oiling pipe in,
Oh, okay.
but in the directions they say you got to modify it.
Gotcha.
There it is. That is the billet 80 valve body installed. Our transmission is finished.
Finally.
I just got to put the tail housing portion on and the
Cover.
the pan. Yeah. Almost forgot to show you all. Here's our trans brake wire connected down. There's a pin there, and then this wire they plunge through because of how they design them with the connectors. They don't have 2 or 3 pin connectors available right now. So I had to extend that wire, so I got the soldered connection plus heat shrink, soldered connection plus heat shrink. And the solder connections I use are these shrink down guys, which I shrink them until you see that solder band not only shrink, but also see solder flow through the connection. And then just to ensure good sealing, I doubled up the heat shrink on it. And then I put a little bracket right here to hold it down. The grounds, both for the trans brake solenoid and this is the trans brake solenoid and the torque converter lockup solenoid. Jeez. So just wanted to throw that in there real quick.